All right, we're gonna get into it because we ain't got that much time. So we're just gonna get right into it with this. A lot of people are failing to realize, man, when it come down to housing and getting yourself together, is all about you, man. Pretty much working. Ho- Hope we have connection because I'm getting buffing on my end. But like I said, I ain't gonna be here that long, man. When it come down to it, man, work on your money. If you can get a house now, get a house. If you can't get a house, work towards getting a house. Right now, the housing market is crazy. You have renters in Atlanta actually getting top dollar because a lot of people can't afford to buy a house. They actually sold their house and can't buy another because everything's too priced. It's priced out. A lot of people is priced out of their price range, priced out of their pocket. They can't afford it. I encourage people, like I keep saying, get uh, life insurance. Get that life insurance, protect yourself, protect your family. Look forward to the future. When it come down to it, a lot of us are lacking when it comes to accountability for a lot of stuff in our life. Start working with your kids more. Start being in your kids' life. You know, right your wrongs. You can actually change the next generation and make them better. If you suffered or you went through something crazy, just know that you can do better for your kids. But when it come down to it, it's all up to you, man. You know, we got to do this one on one. It's self accountability, and if I had a bad childhood, my child shouldn't have a bad childhood. You know, if I became a truck driver, my son should own a truck driving company or something to that extent. If I'm a nurse, he's a doctor. Just as long as they do better than you. I mean, it's not no shot. You got to set the bar high when it comes down to it. But at the same time, everybody knows their kid. You put them in a range to win and let everything work itself out. So for a lot of people, it's hard for them to, kind of put themselves in the mind frame of winning when they constantly, having these issues in life. Self care, what's going on? How you doing? And a lot of times we hold ourselves accountable for stuff. I mean, well, a lot of times people don't hold themselves accountable for situations or things that they do. So that's why we more or less, going through these situations that we are now. Um, I'm gonna shout out to Alonzo. I'm gonna go ahead and show this right here. This is Alonzo's page, CG Wealth Solution Group. And if you go to this site, pretty much dealing with all your insurance needs, you know, hey, top of the line. Whatever you need is there. Asking questions, anything you need to know about, actually just contact them. That's the biggest thing. Contact. Charles, real cool guy. Charles be over the company and had set. Oh, sorry about that. Sat down on a lot of different lives with Charles and working through the process. You know, very cool guy, man. Dealing with a lot of the situations in your family, you're gonna need to be protected. So when you're doing that, you're gonna have to have, that cushion. You know, who can the family call on? Who can the family count on? And especially being men, you want to make that decision for the family. And right here, focus on the different, policies that they have. Let me go back up to the top, and there you go. These are different ranges of policies that they have. A lot of people. I think it's the college saving is the four something. I forgot the name of that. Let's see if it should be on here. The A5, yeah, 529 college saving fund. By taxes and everything. I knew it was one. I forgot. I thought it was like 429 or something. But basically, when it comes to it, man, having yourself prepared, that's the key. A lot of people lose out on life because they're not prepared. Like I said, the way the market is right now, it's never not a good time to buy to a certain extent, because buying a house in this market right now, you might go upside down, you might not, but at the same time, considering that the housing market, gives you a good annual return, 5 to 10% within 5 to 10, probably 15 years more. I've seen people who houses doubled during this market right here. I know a guy, he bought his house for 250. He ended up selling it for 550. So, it's all about the market and the timing. One of my neighbors, he's had his house for over 20 years. He said he was thinking about selling in 5 more years, but the way the market was, he was going to get ready to go in this year. But he was like, man, I ain't pulling the trigger because, this is my only home right now. He said he had rental properties and he lost a couple of them during his divorce. So right now he's in a situation to where he says, when it comes down to it, this is going to be his best solution to stay in there. Okay, I got some more people. What's going on, Lines? Like, yeah, showing off the goods, man. Showing off the goods, man. What's going on, Conscious? How you doing, man? We here, yeah, we know. Salute. But trying to get some actual videos to play, but my YouTube is okay. There we go. My YouTube not buff right now. I guess it was just an issue with the connection for a minute. All right, let me get on this right here because I want to show this video. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this together to set up this video so y'all can see it. But I mean, this is like really a crazy situation, man. Dude did everything right. Dealt with his family, did everything to the best of his ability. When it came down to it, it just, hey, what could he do? He was only obligated to work whatever the insurance, basically had for him. I mean, basically he did for himself. But hey, you got to prepare this for yourself, man, because nobody's gonna look out for you more than you look out for yourself. My advice with dealing with companies like this, actually get you a lawyer next time and start looking at some situations. Try to skip over this commercial. All right, there we go.
Says they have a warning for anyone who is buying a home from a particular builder just days before their home, their builder backed out.
It turns out the contract they were required to sign by the builder left them with
put a one in the chat. Can you hear this?
Consumer reporter Steve Melviello is on your side tonight.
Okay.
So we had like an island.
And then had a movie room, had like a buffet cabinet area to the nook.
Tracy and Donnell Brundage were
having a little buffing situation. But basically, this is
days away from moving into their forever home in Oakleaf, Texas.
It was a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath.
Here it is, completed. They had movers booked.
That's the house.
Fridge for the kitchen, but 6 days before closing.
It's unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
After the couple spent 16 months on the build, managed months of supply chain delays,
We were really patient with them.
and spent thousands in escrow and upgrade money, this text message changed everything.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Basher Custom Homes, Kindred Homes, has decided to terminate the sales contract with you dated 12/15/2020.
The builder was backing out. A clause in the contract allowed them to cancel for convenience. Put the house on the market. The new price, $300,000 more than the Brundages contracted to buy it for. Tracy, Janelle, and their 1- and 4-year-old sons were about to be homeless.
Still in disbelief, really, to this day.
crazy.
The couple is suing Horton Capital Properties, the parent company for Glacier and Kindred Homes. The lawsuit alleges the builder coerced the Brundages to sell their home under threat that the building project would not continue and in reliance that Glacier would deliver the final building product.
It was contingent on us selling our previous home.
Tracy and Donnell agreed to sell their current home before the builder would sheetrock their new house. If they didn't have their house sold before the new build was done, was an option to pay $2,000 a month in carrying costs to the builder to buy more time. But in an email from the builder in September of 2021, was reminded, quote, "You need to go ahead and start working on getting your house sold because that pay for grace period was now gone." It reads, quote, "Upper management will not be granting contingency extensions."
Our previous home went under contract in less than a week. And so that was not the issue at all.
Their buyer gave the Brundage family a lease back so they could stay in their house past the day the builder said the new home would be done. But when that day came,
January of 2022, the house is not even close to being done. So okay, well, we've moved, going to an Airbnb.
Inconvenient for the couple, but they thought it would all soon be worth it when their forever home was done. Donnell had a pool company design their new yard.
They actually came out and surveyed the land, made us a whole mock-up image of what they're gonna do.
Then closing, April 15th, it was supposed to be the home stretch. Kindred Homes tells the couple they need to move the closing due to a delay.
There was a delay on it, which caused them to reschedule the.
I'm gonna pause right here. Basically, yeah, Stan, it came down to it. Yeah, they didn't read, but at the same time, looking at the process on how things were done, going back, if you're trusting into a company and not reading the fine print, it do come back and bite you in the butt. But at the same time, I mean, looking at the process, you're doing everything that the companies you're dealing with the expectation of them honoring their word. I mean, personally, if it was to me, I would never buy anything from Kendrick or Glacier Home, even if they have a franchise here in Georgia, even though they're in Houston, Texas. I wouldn't. I mean, I already heard they're getting backlash behind this situation to where they're going to end up just doing like normal companies do, taking the name, changing the name, and just going with another name because that name right there is tarnished. And when it come down to it, having an issue to where a lot of people they're gonna not want to deal with these companies like that unless they get some type of guarantee or some backing, because that situation, it was solely on the builders and all that because they were greedy. Looking at that, they sold the house $300,000 for more than it was worth. And as they were talking about getting the carpet and stuff done, only reason they was talking about backup and on the carpet and every little minor detail stuff was because the people who they were selling the house to probably at that time was dealing with the closing and everything. That's why it was pushed back on their end. And Glacier had it in fine writing to where they can, get rid of them and stuff with no fees and everything. I mean, honestly speaking, it was the contract. They didn't read the contract and it hurt them. What's going on, Big Ruth? But when it comes down to it, this is a situation where companies are getting scandalous like this and it's going to hurt them in the long run. I mean, like I said, the housing market is so bad. Why people are not staying with each other? You got family dealing with each other, to an extent. Why not have your family stay with each other? Yeah, I mean, because this is something that I seen. I mean, for me, considering building, I don't think it'll be now, more or less towards the future. But, I'm actually in the process of looking for another house. But just to actually build, this is some type of caution that I might have to find, even with going to the signing table, thinking about getting my own lawyer as well, dealing with the contract if I'm going to sign, everything over to the house. I mean, this situation put them in a huge bind. They sold their house, and upon selling their house, the situation like this happened. During C-19, it was the process of 2 years of them building on his house. They started the process like in 2020 and just now finishing up this year, like what, a month or so ago? So they were diligent working with them doing this whole thing. and they pulled the rug from out of their nose. I mean, who knows how many other contracts they did with people, and the same thing happened with them, and this is not being reported to the news. So, like I'm saying, when it comes down to it, we got to protect ourselves by, reading the fine print. You're right about that. And also, having a lawyer or something look at this, because, we'll come through with trust and the expectation. That's like me having to deal with something with Amazon. I'm thinking that Amazon is going to be on the up and up. This is a big company. I've gotten like that through big companies like that, because they think just one customer is not going to make a difference. That's why, in instance, when we have boycotts, like the situation that happened with the black kids in Alabama, and when they boycotted Waffle House lost a ton of money behind that. Same thing with, other companies. When they do racial stuff, to a degree, it don't really hurt. They deal with one or two people, maybe five, but to start losing thousands of dollars and their pockets get hurt, that's why companies change policies and everything, because it hurts them in the long run substantially. I mean, so looking at these contracts, it's only benefiting them. If you've seen the way that this contract is written, I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and I'm gonna get ready to jump off of here. This is my only free time right here before I gotta start cooking.
Closing the April 22nd.
Another hassle for the young family, but after 16 months of building delays, they saw it as just a final speed bump. And a text message. 6 days before the new closing date, the builder was canceling the sale. The escrow and upgrade money they had held for more than a year would be refunded.
No reason, no nothing. Like, is this? Can you actually do this? Like,
This is basically an agreement to hold you hostage.
We had Attorney Jason Friedman, who is not associated with this case, to review the Hort Capital Properties sales contract.
If you're signing a contract like this, you could
Unlike
be
the Texas Real Estate Commission or
promulgated sales contract, which offers protection for both buyer and seller, he says the builder contract, which Horton Capital required Brundages to sign, left them vulnerable. It's important to note the contract clearly reminds buyers they can seek independent legal advice before signing. Tracy and Donnell did not. We asked Horton to walk us through the terms. They denied our interview request, saying it would be inappropriate. Instead, they pointed to the more than 160 homes they currently have under contract, and cancellations are not what the company intends. Their contract clearly addresses possibility which can be part of doing business.
in this contract, there is no protection.
Take a look. Section 10.
Take a look. Section 10, termination. It reads, seller maintains the right to terminate this contract for convenience and without regard to fault or breach, meaning with no notice and for no reason at all, the seller can walk away. And Horton did.
Basically, get out of a free car.
Free because look what else it says. The contract limits damages paid the buyer to $500. Try and sue? Not so fast. You've waived your right to a jury trial. Hold up the house with claim against the title? Nope, you're not allowed. Do it anyway? Sorry, you've agreed in advance to allow the builder to remove it.
They know every angle you're going to come at them from.
So
and they
what's the
cut off
solution?
So what's the solution?
Oh,
You
yes.
could try and negotiate the terms of builder contract before you sign. You could opt not to buy.
Would you ever sign a builder contract like that again?
Like
Ah,
Tracy, Donnell,
Or like Tracy, Donnell, 1-year-old Jacqueline, and 4-year-old Donnell Jr., you could fund yourself.
3 words being in contract gives you absolutely no standing at all.
Cancel.
Standing at all.
Cancel for
So
convenience.
I sue
If the contract anticipates and block all of your remedies, well, a judge look at the language and decide while legal the terms are. So
unsighted. They should not be
Unsighted.
enforced. A reminder to anybody entering into any kind of legal contract, it should be reviewed by an attorney. You can read the full.
And so basically, with that being said, man, like I said, this is a situation that goes on, under the radar, because that family was the only one, probably to a certain extent. Some other families did seek legal advice to try to sue. They reached out to the news to benefit and to help them better. But when it all comes down to it, these companies are doing this stuff left and right. And like I said, to get a $300,000 gain on a house that they probably built for, let's say, 150,000. You know, materials and all probably went into it 150,000, probably less than that. But they were already, I think the house sold for 7 something, and they were buying it for like 450. So in the end, I mean, companies play like this all the time, but you just gotta watch yourself. But like I said, shout out to the people that came through. Till next time, we here, and like always, you know what I say, we gone.